Welcome to DOB Dynasty. Hello, Dobsters, Doubloons. I don't know, that's the names we came up with. Let us know what else you think. Today we're going to go over some tight ends. And I guess I'll get started with TJ Hawkinson. TJ Hawkinson had a torn ACL and MCL in 2023, and he missed the first 7 games of 2024. He still got 5 to 9 targets per game of those last 9 or 10 games that he played, and the snap share was 60 to 70%. He had a target share of 35.6% and a red zone target share of only 13%, which is very low. Probably all going to Justin Jefferson, obviously. He had a 58.1% catchable target, but he did have 0 touchdowns last year. Absolutely. Like I said, looked to bounce back last year after his injury. He played as well as anyone coming back from a torn ACL and MCL. Minnesota did not draft or pick a tight end to challenge Hawk. Typically, since they have JJ McCarthy, the rookies usually go for tight ends. So he might have like a little bit bigger year. I'd assume, this is what I'm predicting, he would get about 60 receptions, 650 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less. Just all depends on McCarthy, to be honest. I would think I would give up like maybe a late second at most, but he's definitely worth a good like package deal if you want to get somebody else.
And this league is not tight end premium.
Right.
So. My first tight end I did was Sam Laporta. He coming off of, well, this was his sophomore year, but he had a pretty big rookie year. He had 120 targets, 86 receptions, 889 yards, 10 touchdowns. He had a 55.8% success rate and a 71.1 catch rate. And his sophomore year, 2024, it did dip quite a bit. His targets were only at 83. He has 60 receptions, but the other numbers are still there. So with 26 less catches and about 47 less targets, he still had 726 yards and 7 touchdowns. 72.2% success rate and a 72.3% catch rate. So a lot of the stats did dip, but I feel like the more important ones for fantasy football at least increased. He's going into his 3rd year. He only had 1 drop it last year. He did have 4 his his rookie year. So there was a little bit of improvement on that. In Keep Trade Cup, he's ranked the 3rd tight end currently. In our league, he was technically ranked 7th just by the points for the year with 144.60 points. The one thing that will probably keep him as a top tier tight end, though, in my opinion, is the points per game that Detroit put up last year, which was 1st in the league, which was 33.2 points per game. And he stays pretty consistent in the playoffs as well. He's played. Oh wait, that was just last year's. So last year's he had 34 targets, 27 receptions, 227 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the playoffs last year. But I guess it's not really a complaint with the tight end. It's more of just the schedule. But next year he does have a pretty rough schedule. A lot of top tier pass defense.
And then I did Colston Loveland, bear down. So I do my rookies a little bit different when I'm evaluating them. I watch film on their best game, their worst game, and their most important game from the season before. So I don't usually look at so for last year, I obviously only look at 2024. I don't usually look at 2023. I also compare what experts say to what I see. So start off with Loveland's best game was actually against Oregon. He had 7 receptions for 112 yards against that pretty tough defense. And Loveland is definitely a router. He gets his routes completed with precision. He's fast off the line, but he doesn't really have burst or breakaway speed after the catch. He's a very, very average blocker. At first, that's what I thought we actually got him for because Colton can't block. So I'm actually surprised that we picked Colson Loveland after we gave Komet a contract about 2 years ago. So he's on our team till about 2027. One thing I noticed is Colston Loveland gets off his feet too much. So like when he catches it, he tries to like jump for it, or like he doesn't take it and run. He just tries to jump for it, and then also when he's running, he tries to jump over people a lot instead of just like using his big size. Um, he seems to have aggressive hands, and he just doesn't seem strong enough to break tackles that much. Like I don't know if he just doesn't use it. He is only like 242 pounds, which is huge, but I mean for a tight end at 6'6", he should be well in his 260s, especially with the speed he has because he's not that fast. His worst game was against Texas, and that was just like I see a lot of drop passes. I think he had like 2 or 3 that game, and then he also just was very average at blocking. They had him block a lot, honestly, in that game. His drop rate did drop from 7.1% for his career, so his first 2 years at Michigan, to 3.4%. So I guess that improved a bit, but the drop rate is still kind of high. Experts and myself agree on almost everything. There's nothing really differential in what I see versus what they see. Like I said, there's not really experts. It's kind of like luck, and just do your own research, believe in your gut. Do your best. He did have a concussion in 2024 of November, though. We seem to have come back from that. We haven't heard anything from training camp on the Bears this year.
All right, and then my second tight end was Isaiah Likely. On KTC, he's ranked number 9th. In our league, just by points scored, he was ranked 16th, and he scored 102.70 points. Still a pretty young tight end, 25 years old. I know a lot of people might be a little just bullish on him just because he kind of splits reps with Mark Andrews. But it does seem like they're on the field quite often at the same time because his snap share percentage last year was at 60.5%. So he's definitely on the field.
A lot of 2 tight end sets.
A lot of 2 tight end sets. And it seems like weirdly because he seems like the more athletic one, but he does stay back and block quite a bit more than Mark Andrews.
I don't think Mark Andrews.
That's probably why they keep Isaiah there.
That's what I thought we were going to do. Yeah. Apparently not. He can't block.
But last year, while splitting some time with Mark Andrews, he had 58 targets, caught 42 of those targets, 477 yards, and 6 touchdowns. And more than half of his yards were yards after the catch. So he definitely has got some wheels on him. This is Mark Andrews' last year of the contract, so I'd assume they're not going to re-sign him after this season. They'll probably just continue with the 2 tight end set and then either draft one or get one in the free agents and make Isaiah Likely the lead guy.
Especially after that 4th and goal that he had in the end zone that people are still having.
And then also in the playoffs, I keep on saying Mark Andrews now. Isaiah Likely, he had 7 catches on 9 targets, 126 yards, and a touchdown in the playoffs. That's kind of all I got going.
All right, so we did rookies as well. So basically, I got the evens, you got the odds. He's going to go ahead and name like what it went down from 1.01 to 2.42.
Right. Yeah, there's a 14-team league. We have 4 rounds, but I'm just going to go through the first 2. So 1.01, obviously Ashton Genty. 1.02, obviously Omarion Hampton. Number 3 was Tet McMillan. Number 4 was Travis Hunter. Number 5, Travion Henderson. Number 6 was Emeka Ibuka. Number 7 was Quinton Junkins. Number 8 was Caleb Johnson. Number 9 was R.J. Harvey. Number 10 was Jaden Higgins. Number 11 was Colson Loveland. Number 12 was Cam Scatterbo. Number 13 was Tyler Warren. Number 14 was Matthew Golden. And we're going into the second round now. And this is the second round kind of started after Quinton Junkins got arrested. So this was a big jump for this guy. But Dylan Sampson, the other Cleveland running back, he went 2.01. 2.02 was Cam Ward. 2.03 was Luther Burden. 2.04 was Trey Harris. 2.05 was Jack Beck. 2.06 was Jaden Blue. 2.07 was Jalen Knoll. 2.08 was Jalen Milrow. 2.09 was Terrence Ferguson. 2.10 was Harold Fannin. 2.11 was Kyle Williams. 2.12 was Mason Taylor. 2.13 was the Jaguars running back.
Yeah.
Bashal Tootin. And number 2.14 was a linebacker, so I'm not even going to read his name. We have defensive players, not really.
Yeah.
All right.
So
here.
Yep. So I'll go. I drafted Omarion Hampton. His best game was actually against FSU. He had 35 carries for 244 yards and 4 touchdowns. You could tell by the tape that he explodes with quick acceleration, and he also has a second gear after he gets past that first line of scrimmage. He can burst into another gear. He sometimes gets impatient and gets tripped up easily, like by the feet. I can't tell you how many times I watched him in the film that he just gets tackled by the feet too much, and like that's not what I was expecting, just because he has a huge lower body. But he tends to not use his lower body to his advantage. He tries to use his speed. His vision increases after getting past the defensive line, so that's a good thing. Maybe that's why he gets stripped up, because his vision is always like up instead of what's around him. I would love to see more broken tackles with his size. Let's see, his worst game was actually against Duke. He fumbled only 6 times off of 695 total carries, and he only had 1 in 2024. So at least he's going to carry that ball and not fumble that much. Experts and myself, agree almost on everything. He did have a broken ankle in 2021, but no injuries since then.
All right, and then we'll jump from 1.02 right to 1.03. That was actually my pick in this draft, but I ended up trading it. The person that drafted at 1.03 was Tet McMillan. I'm not a fan of Tet McMillan. I know a lot of people like his size and his frame. He does have really good size. I believe he's 6'4", good weight, decent 40 time. A little on the slower side, but it was like, I want to say close to 4.6. But Drake London's was about the same. And I don't like that people compare Drake London to him, because a lot of the tape that I've seen with Tet McMillan, he gives up a lot. Like, it doesn't matter what the scenario is. Like, if his quarterback's not looking his way, he'll give up. If a corner is jamming him a lot, he'll give up. So just honestly, besides just raw athletic ability, I don't see him improving too much. Like, maybe his first 2 years, those are going to be his ceiling, in my opinion, at least. The things that are going for him besides just his size is he is on the Carolina Panthers roster, which is not deep at any pass catcher. So he'll definitely get the targets, and we'll see how Bryce Young kind of is he going to his 3rd year now?
Yeah.
We'll see how he is in his 3rd year. But I don't know. I was just never sold on Tet McMillan, so I kind of wanted to just trade out that spot and get some more picks, which I ended up doing. But yeah, sorry for all the Tet McMillan fans out there. I'm just not high on him at all.
Maybe y'all saw something different. Let us know in the comments. It would help us a lot too, help our fans. All right, so the next one I had was Caleb Johnson. His best game was actually against Minnesota. He's fast, man. I did not realize how fast he was. He can cut outside with ease. The thing that I noticed though in the tape is he has a tell. So like when he gets handed the ball, you can tell where he's going to go. It's really weird. I don't know if he false starts or if he starts like running before the play or just has an immaculate like as soon as he says hike, he's on his way. But it's weird. If I can see it, I'm assuming that NFL players can see it. So that was a weird like knock on him. He will go outside if it's there. He's not going to force it outside, which is good. He does have a lot of speed. It doesn't really show in his 40 time. I think he ran like a 4.56 or something like that, but he has playtime speed, which is most important anyway. He has great vision. He knows where he's going to go. He knows when to cut, and he knows how to follow his blockers. His worst game was against UCLA, and it kind of looked like it was fatigue, or he just didn't play as hard. It didn't seem like his mind was there. I think it was just an off game because that was like the only game that I seen of his tape that he actually did not have like a good game. He had 3 fumbles in college total, and he once went 475 touches without a fumble over 39 consecutive games. So once again, another running back that's going to hold on to the ball, and he's not going to fumble. He could turn out, like Kareem Hunt, where he didn't fumble at all in college and fumbled twice in the first game, but still ended up being like really good. He had a high ankle sprain in 2023. One interesting fact is he had 30 rush touchdowns in 36 games played, which is that's really impressive, honestly. Especially since he didn't really get too much playing time his first 2 years. The third year was his main year, and I think he scored 21 touchdowns. But a lot of them were multi-touchdowns. So this is talking about in 36 games, he scored under 30 of them. Experts and myself disagree on lateral agility and cuts. I see him do it on tape, but they don't. I see the lateral agility. I don't know what the experts see, but I see the lateral agility coming out. He might be like a steal this draft. Getting him at 1.08 is a steal in my book. His 40 is slower than I expected, but like I said, no biggie. The play speed is more important, and you can see it on the field when he's running, how much faster he is than everybody else. There was nothing mentioned in any of the reports about his tell where he's going to go. That's what I see, and I'm assuming NFL coaches are going to see that, but that's just me. It's probably coachable, or he's just going to get a lot of false starts, or he's going to get like caught in the backfield a lot. So we'll see with Caleb Johnson. But yeah, if you have like 1.08 and then above, like I feel like that's a pretty good steal. I would even like consider taking him at 1.06 at this point after watching tape on him.
Right. And then my next rookie was honestly one of my favorite rookies in the class is Travion Henderson. He went to the New England Patriots, so probably split time with Ramondre Stevenson for a bit. But one of the reasons why I like this guy is I felt like each year in college he's developed more to his game. So it's not like just a athletic freak just going out there and just kind of being a man among boys. Every season, his yards per game and his receptions have gone up, but I feel like he's kind of developed more into, I wouldn't call him a power back, but he's definitely added more of a just powerful like maneuvers to his game.
Sometimes he looks for contact instead of it.
Yes, like at first he looked like more just an elusive pass catcher, and then for some reason when they got Quinton Junkins in the portal, I don't know, maybe they just worked well together or he just decided to step up his game, but he was obviously him and Ohio State won the national title, but he was very involved. I don't think. Actually, I believe Ramondre Stevenson's contract's up after this year, and if not, I'd assume they just cut him. Patriots do not have that many pass catchers on their roster, and he is a very, very good receiving back. So I can see him having a pretty big year this year. Probably just him with the other 2 running backs are probably going to be in running for rookie of the year, in my opinion.
All right, I had Jaden Higgins next. His best game was against Utah. What I saw was excellent short routes. He's elite at slant. He can slant he's like Michael Thomas slant guy. That's where his like main thing is. He is so good at the slant. The problem I see is the intermediate routes need work. Like he just either gives up on the play, he's not fast enough, he doesn't, twitch enough to get the corner off him, he doesn't get that separation. His his double moves are actually funny. It's comical the way that he does it because like he uses his head a lot, so it's always a lot of, and then like he finally goes, and it's super weird. But like his routes need a lot of work in my opinion. Just not on the short routes. So he is 6'4", so I guess like he'd be a great red zone target. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets like 6 touchdowns this year just because of the red zone doing his slant route. The other thing I noticed is he doesn't stop to help the QB. It feels like he just has low awareness overall when he's on the field. He just runs his route and he thinks that's it. That's all he does. And like he needs to pick it up and like I don't know, try harder. He just doesn't. I don't know. I feel like he just doesn't get the X's and O's. He's not like a true like tactician of the game. Um, he's too worried about the defender. When he gets targets, he hand plays with them too much. He's pushing off. He's holding on to them. If they like have one arm on him, he has to put one arm back. Like he just uses his hands way too much for my liking. So his routes and just using his hands is a big knock for me. His worst game was against Kansas State, and he had 3 offensive pass interference penalties against him because he was using his hands. He didn't have any injuries, which is good. And another bad thing though is he did have 7. No, that's not too bad. 7 drops in 2 seasons. He spent his first 2 years at Eastern Washington, I believe, and then he transferred to Iowa State for his last 2 seasons. Experts myself agree on almost everything. I didn't see him use his body effectively because he is 6'4". Not even on the slant, he just kind of beat the guy to it. But like when they would run a fade, he just didn't use his body right. He would always try to be behind the defender and I guess lost the defender, but he just never got up there. He just doesn't. I don't know. He just doesn't have the awareness. That's what I really see. Um, but the experts say he is really good at short routes, but at intermediate and long, he just need a lot of work, and he has a lack of separation. That's what me and the experts say and can agree on. But besides that, I don't know. He's just because of his size, he could work out, and he's also on the Texans, who I don't feel have like the best pass catchers. They're just average right now.
All right. And then my next rookie was R.J. Harvey. He ended up going to the Denver Broncos. I think he should be at least splitting carries with J.K. Dobbins, but I think by the mid-season, I think he'll be the lead back. Sean Payton, I feel like when he picks a running back he likes, he definitely sticks with him. So hopefully this is one of them. He graduated at UCF. He was another really good pass-catching running back. He is a little on the lighter side. I think he's 5'9", 5'10", but he's 202. So it was pretty light. He ran a 4.4 40. I feel like on tape though he's a lot faster than what the 4.4 40 showed.
Play speed's better.
Yes. Yeah, it's kind of a layout.
Okay. Matthew Golden. Matthew Golden got drafted by the Packers. His best game was actually against Arizona State. I've noticed a lot during, it was just Texas in general. They run a lot of motion routes. It wasn't just him. It was other players as well. I think Isaiah Bond ran it as well. But a lot of his routes were motion routes, which was weird. I can tell you he's going to be elite at rack, getting those rack yards, receiving after catch, receptions yards after catch. I think he's going to get that. But I feel like a lot of players kind of have that ability, so I don't know how it's going to work in the Packers offense. We'll see. I mean, like, I'm a hater because I don't like the Packers, but when I was watching tape, I kind of got happy because I was like, he's not going to do much against the Bears, but you never know. I did notice that he gives up on plays. He just stops running the route, or he just kind of like knows it's not going to go to him, and he'll just stop and kind of take a breather. I mean, that's okay, but like it's not going to work in the NFL. You're going to have to play hard. You're going to have to play every single down. But we'll see with him. Not worried about injuries. He's kind of small. It looked like. I actually don't know his size, but he looks small just on game tape and everything. But he hasn't gotten injured, so that's a good thing. Drops are definitely a concern. He had 5 on 56 targets in 2022. He had 6 on 63 targets in 2023, and he had 4 on 58 targets in 2024. He had a 7.4% drop rate in 2024 alone, and I think his overall was like a 9.1. So 1 out of every 10 balls he's going to drop, and that's just terrible. But I mean, we've seen players come from college that had these kind of stats that would drop a lot, or just be known for just speed and turn into a great player. So anything can happen. Experts and myself agree almost on everything. The experts say he looks good on vertical routes. I didn't see anything that made him look like vertical routes. Maybe it was the motion. When he was running a motion, he would do like a vertical route, but I didn't see anything. He didn't have any separation. He has a speed, so I don't know what he's exactly doing. When I was watching him run the routes, I didn't see him stop or anything. So maybe he like slowed down for the quarterback, which doesn't really make any sense. But they had Quinn Ewers, and I know Quinn Ewers doesn't have like the strongest arm, but we'll see. On the field play is slower than a 4.29 that he ran at the combine. I did notice that. Like he's fast, but he's not 4.29 fast. He just has slower playing speed when he's on the field.
Right. And then my last first round player that we're going to cover is Tyler Warren, tight end for the Indianapolis Colts now. I do feel like this player will be heavily involved, just because one, the draft capital they spend on him, but he reminds me a lot of just an old school tight end, a lot like honestly just like kind of like Jason Witten to me. Very good blocker, reliable hands, rarely drops anything. Not the fastest tight end, but like that's what I was saying, like kind of more of an old school guy. But he can, for some reason, like for him, well, this is why I kind of related him to Jason Witten. Not the fastest guy, but the guy can get open. Like he could just pick apart zone coverage, which is very obviously useful in the NFL. I guess my biggest complaint about him is,
Richardson.
oh yeah, well, I don't know. I think Aaron Jones will probably start. So they don't really have a quarterback, and honestly, like that's was my big knock on him in college too. I'm not a big Drew Aller fan. I don't think he just was very inaccurate at Penn State. So kind of just sucks for him because he's going to be from one inaccurate quarterback to two other inaccurate quarterbacks. But like I said, he can separate very well for being a big, not that fast guy. Big, tough guy. He was 248. He's still young. I think he's only like 23, so he'll probably gain some muscle. But he'll definitely be heavily involved because, like I said, 243.
Oh, two.
I
was like, Colston's only 246.
Yeah. But like I said, he's a very good blocker, so I'd assume he'll be kind of like dominating on goal line situations, either blocking or kind of going out in the flats or running around for a touchdown, hopefully, for the Colts. But yeah, that was it for Tyler Warren. And then I'm just going to do one more guy in the second round, just because I do see a lot of hype around him. It's the Raiders wide receiver Jack Beck. He seems okay to me. like honestly, out of everybody I've covered, besides Ted McMillan, he's probably one of my least favorite guys. His separation percentage wasn't high at all. Oops, sorry, I keep hitting the table. And his 40 time was not fast, nor did he look fast in game tape. I guess maybe people are just, I mean, I'm not going to hate on the guy because he seems like a very nice person, but I feel like a lot of people were overhyping him just because he does have a very sad story. But, he's done with that part of his life.
What was this?
Honestly, I don't really fully remember. I want to say, like, I think both his, like, parents died, like, early. But anyways, back to the topic.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just a combination of that and legit the Raiders do not have any other receivers besides Brock Bowers, so they're probably just assuming he's going to get those targets, which could be true. He could get a lot of targets. I feel like, honestly, he's not even a receiver. I feel like he's a kind of an athletic tight end, but they're obviously not going to move the tight ends. They have Brock Bowers. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm just not sold on him at all. But,
all right, Dog Whites, leave us comments. We could talk about anything. Not sure what I'm going to talk about Saturday. I think I'm going to go a little bit deeper into our draft and maybe do a couple of second or third rounders. Get a couple of those, late picks in there to determine. I know I'm a little bit critical of the players on here, but it's just the tape that I watch. That's just my way of deciding who I'm going to draft for the rookie draft. Everybody has their own ways. But that's what I feel is the best, is to watch the tape and then see what their best game is, what their worst game is, and what the most important game is, and how they reacted, how they did, and basically what they did from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. Like, did it get better? Did they get worse? Etc. So I'll probably go over a little bit over the second and third round picks that we picked in this past draft. But like I said, let us know if you have any comments, and y'all have a good day.